Hi everyone, namaste, Kemcho. Been a little bit. I've been busy. I recently got back from Toronto to Sarnia by the via rail train system. I was helping somebody in Little Italy area near Yorkdale Mall renovate their home, and I thought it would be interesting to try to learn a little Italian on the train ride there, which I did. And I don't know much, buongiorno, bene, things like this, and buenos aires for good night. uh, saying one, uno, due, tre, just little bits of Italian. And it's amazing that I made a connection with a retired elderly man. I just wanted to inquire about, disposal bins for renovation, and he's a corner unit on the street. His neighbor had a bin, and just buongiorno, and immediately the response in Italian. He could tell that I wasn't Italian. He inquired, where did you learn? Oh, YouTube on the train ride over. No, no, you say so well. And again, I said, well, it's because I'm only using small amount of tools that I know. Buongiorno, buongiorno. It's very difficult, bene, buongiorno, to say incorrectly. So I don't know any Italian. I know how to use those words in Italian, and immediately friends. There, we had a respect that might not have been there had I just been a normal English speaking person. But my first attempt was, scusi. And it's that little small effort that this man took and the respect gained by both of us immediately made the conversation just two human beings. So we would go to Home Depot to pick up tools for renovation, supplies for the renovation, and there's so many cultures and dialects available to converse with that even if it's just hello or I don't know any of it, I can learn at least hello. So there'd be a cashier, and it sounded to me that she was Ukrainian. It turns out that she's Russian. Whether you're Ukraine or Russian, Dobry den or Dobry dan, it was irrelevant. The smile that this cashier had, the person was released. She was no longer a cashier. I was no longer a customer. The business was concluded, and then it was my attempt just to say hello in Russian. And it made her feel happy. You could see it in her eyes, her smile through her mask. There was a Korean girl. I try to say thank you. Korean's a hard language. I'm not very familiar at all with this language, but it was just the butakhabnida, kamsahabnida, and you could see her giggling. She knows I'm trying, and that's what really mattered. And again, it was no longer the store worker being inquired something by the customer. It was two people. I took a cab from Yorkdale Mall to downtown Union Station. With the traffic and construction, it was about an hour. But the driver, he was a Sikh. He spoke Punjabi. He had a nice, colorful pink turban on. But once he found out that I wasn't attempting to make fun of him, immediately he was just, well, let me turn on this radio station for you. And I don't know much Punjabi, any that I've learned in the past 15 years ago. It's pretty much forgotten aside from some staples like, I'm hungry, puk lagia, many puk lagia, I'm thirsty, but payas lagia. But on the radio, the similarities for the numbers two is be, and rupees is their money, and lakh is like 100,000. So they're talking about, $600,000 condo, two-bedroom condo on the radio. And the man sees that I'm able to at least translate the words that I know. And the lady's talking about, there's people trying to hail cabs a certain way to hold your hati, your hand. All right. These are just small, very small amounts of the language. And it made us, again, tori tori, just little friends, mitra, immediately. Because the man, you could hear him giggling. He's 60 something years old, but he's like a little kid, and I'm 40 something, and I'm like a little kid. It's two strangers that are communicating in a way that only one is fluent in, but we're both fluent in human being. And that was what was important to me, is that's the message I would like to share about all these small encounters. Yeah, I can sing the Japanese national anthem in Japanese. I can't hit the notes. I'm not a singer, but I know the exact words in Japanese. I was fortunate enough when I was a little boy in grade 5, our school teacher went off curriculum, and instead of O Canada, we would rise and sing the Kimigayo, or the Japanese national anthem. We were studying feudal Japan, and that was her attempt at immersion. We would learn arigato, domo, ways to say thank you. Konnichiwa, konnichiwa, sen for the girl, konnichiwa, whoever for the boy, son. And these things stuck with me for life because it was fun. Not only was different, but the fun was allowed to flourish. So I've not continued anything since then for Japanese and the kanji or whatnot, but you start seeing the circle of your inner circle. Okay. And the circles start doing this. They overlap each other. I just got off the phone with my sister, and her husband, my brother-in-law, just started 20 minutes before she called me. She said she's watching a 6-part story of a London Englishman doing a documentary of his visit to Japan. So here we are, 35 years removed from even, or 30 years or so from my schooling up to their interest. And nothing has changed because it's just the curiosity of human beings. And this is what the exploration of language study has done for me. In Sarnia, there's a large restaurant. I don't know if it's franchise because they have 2 locations, but a Sitara restaurant. It's essentially Star in Gujarati. Okay, but the man there who runs it, he speaks Punjabi. And when I first came in, it's busy. It's obviously his restaurant, and he came to seat me. But I asked him, Punjabi? He says, yeah. Oh, Shashrikal, Tikal? Oh, I don't have time, but that's interesting. So I ordered a traditional breakfast. I've never had it before. I think it's called aloo patti. It's a nice. I don't know if it's like a roti style pancake with a little tori tori masala, very very little spice, but like a potato and cheese or something. I don't know. It's amazing food. But he purposely came over to deliver the meal to me because where did you learn this? And I explained to him, I had Punjabi staff members at a warehouse I ran, and again, just those small words were making friends. After the meal, he comes over again to how did you like it or whatnot, and it's very good, thank you, shukriya, and I'll see you later, bye bye. And then I go to a vegetable place where I was hoping, and she was, but there's a Brazilian girl, well, not Brazilian, I forget where she says she's from, but she speaks the Portuguese and the Spanish of that area. She's fluent in both. And she's telling me about her husband, his ability to learn French. And she says, I'm terrible. My suggestion was my accordioning method and to learn the words you want, your words that you want to express yourself with, the questions you want to know. You don't want to know where the bank is. You want to know where the concert hall maybe is. Maybe you want to know where this store specific is, but you don't know how to ask it in that language. Once you start learning the words to what you want to know, the common phrases, they're always going to be incorporated because the other person's going to ask them and you're going to understand them more and more because you start incorporating them alongside the structures of sentences that you're making with your words. So again, I'm not fluent whatsoever in any language except for English, and I'm studying a little harder now in the French. A lot is coming back. You would know I don't speak French, but you can understand what I'm saying in it. The thing is all these people, they haven't forgotten me. I know some of it's happened today or whatnot, but a couple of these people I met in Toronto, there was a Gujarati girl that was working at a pizza, and it's 10 o'clock at night, she's giggling. She was like me when I'm learning Tame kushone kabarhoitari paro. Okay, this is just when you're happy and you know it, but in Gujarati. So she's asking, where did you learn this? And I explained to her and I say, hey, I have a YouTube channel. I sell nothing. I only share my joy and ideas. And she subscribed right away. So I know that it was a meaningful human interaction that we had. And that's what's important. This is why I do this. There's a reason that I don't record these people because I'm not into making reaction videos. Okay, I want you to go out and inspire yourself with the interactions. Not one of these people ever laughed at me. Not a single one ever laughed at me with mispronunciations, incorrect sentence structure. And it's rare that they attempt to correct you. They're just so pleased that they see somebody who is sincerely enjoying the study of a language they're fluent in. And if you continue to talk with them, they become comfortable with the idea of sharing how to correctly say something. Not one of them ever commented on my accent, because I definitely have an accent in any form of these languages I speak. Gracias. Okay. Une, due, tre, cuatro, cinque. Like I might say them right, but I have an accent. And that's what they'll also remember, is that I was me. If you want to study a language and you want to get the similar kind of joy, I believe the root of it is your inhibitions have to go. Your ego has to go. You're not worried about being at all embarrassed. You're there for personal curiosity. You want to understand another way to express yourself, and then you start learning about that culture. And the people will automatically share cultural sayings with you, cultural events, cultural phrases. And through this, I learned that yesterday. Today is August the 15th. Okay. Yesterday was India's Independence Day. To my knowledge, that's when they finally kicked out the British colonizers and declared themselves, we're Bharat. We are India. Please leave us alone. We can govern ourselves. Get out. Okay? Whatever it was their 4th of July. It was their Canada Day, I'm sorry. And it was wonderful because for 42 years of my life on this planet, I had no idea that they had an Independence Day. And I only learned it yesterday because I turned on a live Gujarati news feed so that I could hear people speaking with words I haven't heard on the news. And it's an Independence Day. Monumental achievement for any nation. And because of my language studies, I have gotten to grow as a human being with that knowledge that a nation of 1.3 billion, 1.2 billion people right now, it's one of their happiest days that regardless of religions and languages, they are all from India and they're all celebrating their independence, their freedom from another country's rule. I live in Canada. People call it a free country. Yet 95% of Canadian land is considered crown land. That means that Queen Elizabeth II owns Canada. When you start really thinking about that, it doesn't matter where you live or what language you're expressing yourself in. We all have ups and downs in our lives. We all have things that are controlled not by us and can never be controlled by us, except for our personal knowledge. Language is free knowledge. You can't tax it. Once you've acquired it and you can use all the tools, they're yours forever for free. You only have to spend time. And we all have time. As my sister once said, it's the only commodity that we all spend the exact same way. Time passes at the same speed in reality for everyone. So if you really want to challenge yourself to learn another language, it becomes a priority and you will find the time to achieve your goals. Thank you for listening. Abhar.